grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like, who's getting paid from it? I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat?
Smile for me. Smile with your teeth.
Go like this. Did you eat that cat?
I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me?
She knows, the world knows that those are lies. And again, these are rehearsed lies. That's what makes it even worse.
Well, Trump, on the other hand, when he was president, he actually did a good job. He did what was best for the USA. And I think he should really be president because he knows what he's doing.
The children are our future. Hello, social media family. Thanks for tuning in today. My name is Kayla on the spot, and today I do have a very special guest with me today. We will let her introduce herself.
We're on the spot here.
On today, we will be recapping the presidential debate, starting with the opening statement. David Murr posed a great question for Kamala Harris, as she has been the vice president for 3.5 years. Are you and the American people better than 4.5 years ago in reference to the economy? I believe that was a perfect example for Kamala to defend herself and all of these things that she has signed, but yet this is what she does.
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing. And the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year, because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because it was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that she and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again and even better.
Donald Trump, he did a great job tying in the immigration along with the economy. A lot of things factor in whether the economy is doing good or whether the economy is doing bad. Immigration is one thing that has the economy, and that is currently because the vice president and the president. We have to agree?
Yes.
All right. So as much as they didn't want Donald Trump to talk about immigration right off the bat, he had a great point that it is heavily tied to the economy. Roll the clip.
Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. And it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. But when you look at what she's done to our country, and when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country monthly, where it's, I believe, 21 million people, not the 15 that people say, and I think it's a lot higher than the 21, that's bigger than New York State pouring in. And just look at what they're doing to our country. They're criminals. Many of these people coming in are criminals. And that's bad for our economy, too. You know, you mentioned before, we'll talk about immigration later. Well, bad immigration is the worst thing that can happen to our economy. They have, and she has, destroyed our country with policy that's insane. Almost policy that you'd say they have to hate our country.
Another thing I would like to discuss is there were no fact checking for Kamala Harris whatsoever, not one single time. But every time Donald Trump talked, they fact checked him 4 or 5 times about the abortion ban, the vetoing, all the different things they fact checked him on. They didn't fact check her on once. And she was lying from the start to the end of the debate. A couple things that she lied about is Project 2025. She lied about Charlottesville. Charlottesville was a major event that she tried to take the shine light, sunlight, spotlight, whatever light, to shine light on a situation that was a lie. Brought up January 6th. Donald Trump did a great job tying in Nancy Pelosi as the former Speaker or Representative. She has a lot of power to do the right things. He informed the people that there were going to be a huge rally going on and that you should step up your security. This shouldn't be new because this also should have happened when he had the assassination attempt. There should have been more security. Does that sound familiar to everyone? Charlottesville, like Donald Trump said, he had nothing to do with Charlottesville. He's not there. He cannot control the people. Honestly, I feel like it was done by them. A lot of this stuff, they're paying people to destroy things, like in California back a while ago, burning down buildings and trying to relay the message as if it was either Donald Trump, as if it was a message for people of color, saying that we are destroying the country, destroying towns and things like this, when our reality is, it's them. He did a great job pointing things back onto the Democrats on how they have been in office after him for 3.5 years, and everything has turned to poop. We have to all admit at this point. We're 2.5 months. We are 2.5 months away from the election, and it is a very serious time. Let's talk about the tactics while we're at it. A very serious time. She chose last night to be one of the funniest, jokiest, comical nights of all of her campaign. Never seen her laugh so much. Last night, everything was quite funny. Now, what's your take on that?
I don't think she was taking it very seriously. I don't think she realized what she was doing, when she was doing it, how she was doing it. As a vice president, I feel like you are supposed to do what's best for the country, and I don't think she did that.
I would have to agree. She has so much power still right now. She likes to always talk about, all I have to do is sign a pen, and these individuals will be in jail whether they did it or not.
Never in a million years I would have thought that they were going to charge me for Sales murder. I never talked to no detective, no police officer, no DA, nobody.
Just arrested and then charged.
Arrested and charged, that's it.
Was the first time you saw Kamala Harris in person the day that the verdict was issued?
She showed up at the two most pivotal times in this first trial, and me being convicted and me being sentenced. She wanted to be present for a celebration of a conviction.
That's what it felt like, celebration?
A celebration, that's what it felt like.
That was very sick. God forbid she's reelected. She will be signing off on any and everything and has no idea the long-term effects, the right now effects, or anything like that, because she fails to realize that the immigration is a serious thing. It's very serious. The numbers are tripling, flipping. They're saying 11 million as if 1 million is not a lot. Donald Trump is saying 21 million, and that's even more. But the fact that they're trying to downplay the numbers tells us everything that we need to know. The fact that they're trying to act like these people are not dangerous individuals. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they're capable of. They're not here for a good cause. And Donald Trump did an excellent job explaining why he felt like they were here is to help the Democrats win the election. There's no other reason why they should be here, because they have torn up New York. They're tearing up Chicago. They're now tearing up Springfield, Ohio. Let's play the clip.
I think it's like kind of odd that like a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun, because I see what's going on in these streets, and I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits, and I'm getting out here every day and I'm broadcasting this, and you guys are just sitting up there in suits or something. Like, I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into, they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, like, y'all can be comfortable with this. Like, I don't know, like, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to, seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants, because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like, y'all get the Highway State Patrol down here every week, and then y'all get like a task force for the Highway State Patrol, and they look for guns and they look for dope and this and that and the fourth. That same people that y'all got riding up and down Limestone doing U-turns, pulling people over for blinkers and pulling people over for going left to center and a couple miles over. Y'all can take them same people, the Highway State Patrol, and you can take them in every single one of their silver Chargers and Dodge Durangos, and y'all can take them to Sunset, and y'all can park them right over there, and y'all can teach people how to drive, since the Highway State Patrol knows so much about traffic laws and know what to do in traffic. Y'all pay them. They can go over there and teach these Haitians how to drive, because it's getting I'm getting thousands of views on these, and it's going to get bigger, and it's only going to get worse. And y'all sitting up there in these chairs, all y'all need to get out here and do something. Y'all making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all need to put on a T-shirt and some Crocs, and then y'all need to come out here in these streets, and y'all need to go out here and I'm out here before the police is. Y'all need to do something, bro. Y'all really got to stand on business. Y'all getting paid all this money just to wear a suit and sit in a chair. I think it's crazy, bro. We got to do something, bro. It's kids out here getting hurt. Only reason I even went on here and said something about it is because somebody told me they walking from the school and a Haitian almost ran into them. And who is getting paid? Like, how much money is y'all really getting paid, like, to bring them over here? Like, I know it's deeper than them. I know that's where they come from, and that's what they do. That's their country. I don't know what they got going on over there, but they can't do that over here. And if y'all just getting paid from it and then y'all ain't doing nothing about it, I think that's super weird, bro. Y'all got to stand on business. Y'all got to really, like, step up. Like, it's lame, bro. Like, for real.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank
you. What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat?
Smile for me. Smile with your teeth.
Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with it.
Did you see her eating it?
Eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah, she was.
You call the Humane Society to see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's deceased.
Miss Skinner, who I'm not trying to put on the spot, is my neighbor.
Just talk to me, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And I'm done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status, and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town.
Isn't it interesting how we hear the residents of this city telling us what exactly is going on in this city? David Murr is not there. Lindsey Davis is not there. Kamala Harris isn't there for sure. And Joe Biden is nowhere near to be found. Donald Trump did also job with that. Where is our president? No one has even seen the president. But they want to say what's not going on in Springfield is not happening. When we hear the residents going down to city council, to every meeting, you think they would waste their time, go out? You know, people have more better things in life to do than go sit in a council meeting. It has to be very serious for them to have to want to go and sit in a council meeting every single day to voice their anger. David Murr says,
to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And
I hear you bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from television.
But the people on television saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond.
Well, I bet your city manager would say that information because he's for the blue. Let's talk about it. This is a good time to talk about it. The debate was very biased. Some of the things that I noticed where the background was blue, the whole background of the debate was blue. It should be more of a neutral color, more blue and red if this is a debate. Why is the whole background blue? That's favoritism. That's being biased. David Murray and Lindsay kept interrupting. That was being very biased. They fact-checked everything Donald Trump said, and it was actually the truth. And then another thing, they did not mute Kamala Harris' mic for a lot of the time.
Fracking? She's been against it for 12 years. Defund the police? She's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking now, if you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Why?
She went out.
They discussed that they would mute both parties' mics, and for some reason they forgot where the mute button was when Donald Trump was talking, because you kept hearing her interject. I believe they were more invested in trying to make Donald Trump look like a fool more than they were really trying to tell the American people about their policies, what they want to do for the remainder of this election. The president is going to be there till January. They have a couple of months to the election, but they're still going to be in office until January. So therefore, they have more work that needs to be done, can be done, and should be done. But yet, they are trying to use every tactic in the book to get under his skin. It's sickening. It really is sickening that the whole debate was more so of trying to show the world how much of a fool he is. When in reality, he's talked about his track record. He has a good track record for the economy. He's proud of what he has done for the American people, on foreign policy, on helping the economy in America as far as inflation. There was no inflation. We was all able to save money and do a lot of other things other than just go to work and pay bills when he was in office. But these last 3 years that they have been in office, they haven't did much but point the finger at the other person when they are in charge right now. Kamala had me cracking up. She would distance herself from Biden, and then she will want to pull him back in for, like, for example, they did the drug prices. Oh, she wanted to claim him on that point. But every other thing that he didn't do good on, oh, I'm not Joe Biden. I'm not Joe Biden. Just want to separate herself from him, as if, one, he's not the president now, and two, as if she's not currently the vice president right now. They are a team. They have did everything together, and she loves to glorify and tell everyone about she was the last deciding vote on a lot of these key factors that are hurting us right now. She said that she was the last one in the room.
President Biden always said that he wants you to be the last person in the room, particularly for big decisions, just as he was for President Obama. He just made a really big decision, Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do. And I'm going to add to that.
Overall, you could tell that this debate on the Kamala side was very scripted. You could tell that she practiced her lines over and over and over again. I must say that she did a great job remember her lines, so much so that she was rehearsing the line of her answer to some of the questions that the rehearsed line didn't even match to. So they asked her a question and she's going off her rehearsed line, and the two did not hit home. So it shows again that we have someone that is incompetent. We have a lot of different thoughts that we're throwing at you guys today. And however, ABC did a horrible job just going down the middle. Their job was to facilitate, not debate. And it was so interesting to see these two moderators. One, my husband made a great point. Typically on debates, there is only one moderator. Why was there two moderators? I know that's not good. It's no good answer for it. There should have only been one moderator, and I think they did two moderators again as a tactic, as a bait, as a weaponization, whatever you want to call it. They did that for a reason. I want to also mention the question that they asked about race. David Murray asked Kamala, or asked Donald Trump, you keep mentioning Kamala's race. You know, you said that she was Indian, then now she's saying she's black. I'm glad that he didn't take that bait, because there's no right words for you to say at that time. However, Kamala knows what he's talking about. She's now trying to use her race to get a certain type of vote.
But one of the things that I learned was that there is a sense of pressure from some people to just get on the bandwagon, regardless of what she's talking about, because of the fact that she is a black woman. And I thought that was a very interesting dynamic.
The Democrat side.
Oh, gosh. Do you remember when Kamala Harris, she had that radio interview with Breakfast Club? It was released. We talked about it. She admitted that she smoked pot. When they asked her if she was pro-legalizing marijuana, she said, of course I smoked marijuana. Half my family's from Jamaica. Are you kidding me? Well, her own father had a problem with that. But listen to what she said on the Breakfast Club.
They say you oppose legalizing weed.
That's not true.
I know.
and look, I joke about it, half joking. Half my family's from Jamaica. Are you kidding me?
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like
and I inhale. I did inhale.
Okay.
It's really hysterical for the former attorney general of that state to talk about doing something illegal, laughing about it, giggling about it, and trying to get some traction for it. Among the people that were upset by it, her dad, Donald Harris, from Jamaica, an economics professor at Stanford University, says this: my dear departed grandmothers, as well as my deceased parents, must be turning in their grave right now to see their family's name, reputation, and proud Jamaican identity being connected in any way, jokingly or not, with the fraudulent stereotype of pot-smoking, joy-seeking, and in pursuit of identity politics. Man, what a blast at his daughter who wants to be the next president. No kidding. He added, and he had sent this statement to Jamaica Global Online. He said, speaking for myself and my immediate Jamaican family, we wish to categorically disassociate ourselves from this travesty. The campaign had no comment as of yesterday.
That is very true. She goes on and she does all these different accents, no matter where she is. She changed up her accent. She changed her hair. Somebody mentioned, where's the afro? But now she has this straight hair. And so that is why Donald Trump keeps bringing that up, because she keeps making, I'm a black. But she never said that until she started running for president. Matter of fact, she was the first Indian to win in California because there was already a first black attorney general in California. So these are the things that they should have been fact checking while they were doing all their fact checking. This is stuff that they should have been fact checking, and they know why that he's saying what he's saying. But that's good that he didn't take the bait, because, you know, again, there's no right way to say that. We are for the people. It doesn't matter what color you are. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And right don't have no color. And wrong sure enough don't have no color, because anybody can harm somebody and anybody can be wrong. But she is using this black card. That's what she keeps doing. And he's just calling her out on it. He's fact checking her. Nothing's wrong with that. And then she wants to take, oh, we're dividing and all that. They are the only one dividing. And this is something that's been. In my opinion, certain folks have always been the stepping stool for other cultures, but we're not going to talk about that, because that's a whole nother history lesson that's just beyond the presidential debate. We're talking about the bankers, but you guys aren't ready for that. Kamala, if you listened last night, she didn't talk about any of her policies. Inflation, gas, energy. Energy was huge. The energy was very huge. They are trying, believe, and using fields on fields for solar. I believe that solar is okay, but I do not believe that you have to take hundreds of acres for solar. That was very sad. And they're trying to do that to take away oil, to take away all these other different things that is important that you may need if you need to get the heck out of Dodge. If you lost power on the grid and you don't got oil, where you going? So we need to really stay informed, continue to listen what Kamala Harris is saying, because she's really not saying much. However, she's saying a lot, because she says one thing and then she pulls back, and then she pushes it back up, and then she pulls it back. And those are the things that we really need to listen to. I'll play an example for you right now.
The interview was so bad, even the liberal US media over at CNN fact-checked her.
Fact check bottom line, Abby, is that she did not actually make clear at a 2020 debate that she had changed her previous support for a fracking ban. Here's what she said at a CNN climate town hall in 2019.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah.
So listen to what she actually said in that 2020 debate.
Joe Biden will not end fracking. He has been very clear about that. I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking.
I certainly did not hear anywhere in there Kamala Harris saying that she personally had abandoned her previously expressed 2019 view.
Joining us now is Based Politics podcast co-host Brad Palumbo. Brad, great to see you. You know you're in trouble when the Democrat-friendly CNN is now fact-checking you.
Yeah, a Democrat politician has to tell a real whopper to get fact-checked by CNN, but that's how absurd and gaslighty the claim by Kamala Harris that my values have stayed the same that she said in her CNN interview is, because she's flip-flopped totally on fracking, banning fracking, the energy production that's key to swing state voters in places like Pennsylvania for jobs in their local economy, but she's also flip-flopped on healthcare policy, on many things from her 2020 presidential campaign, flip-flopped on defunding the police, on immigration policies. There are so many flip-flops. And of course, people can change their mind, but she doesn't appear to actually have had any sort of heartfelt rethinking of the issues. It's just cynical politics. And it's really quite funny that it's so blatant that even CNN is calling her out for it, because they tend to give Democratic politicians every possible benefit of the doubt and every possible wiggle room, but even they can't help but point out Kamala's law.
All right, guys, we don't want to keep you long, but I have to let you guys know this last thing that is breaking news. I don't know if you guys noticed her nice, pretty earrings last night. What do you guys think about those earrings that she had on? Were they just really that nice? Or did she have something in there? Sources are saying that she had earbuds in her ear, in her earrings. The Nova H1 earbuds are what she had in her ear. Sources say allegedly. I will put a picture of the earbuds right here, and then I will also put her earrings right here. What do you guys think? It looks like a headset to me. Now, also, before this even came out last night, I was thinking, she's stalling for time. Why is she taking so long? I personally thought that last night could actually, matter of fact, let me reverse. I thought this could be a factor 2 weeks ago when they said that they were going to be doing a debate. I said, oh man, she's not ready. She's probably going to have either the questions, either she's going to be, or have earbuds. and they let the rules know that she didn't have the questions. No party was able to have the questions before the debate, and I honestly think that was a lie. It's like she knew the questions were coming, because she was uneasy, then she got real confident because she knew that her question was coming up, in my opinion. I will roll the clip right here.
Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. And let's understand how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are...
But when it was about, let's say, immigration, for example, or inflation, or the economy, she said, oh, Donald Trump, you're going to hear the same playbook all night. And really, in actual reality, she has been saying this same speech in all of her campaigns. I'm a middle-class woman. I grew up here, there, and all this stuff. That's the same playbook we heard in her campaign. She had that same spew last night. And she's really deflecting and saying, oh, you're going to still hear the same playbook, because we need to hear this same playbook that he is saying about immigration, economy, inflation, gas prices, all affordable housing. No one's able to even buy a house right now. These are the playbooks that we need to be hearing, and not, when I was a prosecutor, I had the pen of the power. Oh, I stood against big banks and senior citizens, and she tried to say about the immigration, but I put on here the sheriff in California specifically letting you guys know that Kamala does not support law enforcement. If you didn't see that clip, I will insert it here for you now.
Here in California, we want a leader who's going to support law enforcement. As you know, she helped support BLM rioters trying to bail them out of jail. She was a huge supporter of defunding the police. When you get to that little task force there collecting that methamphetamine, it was a lot of local law enforcement working hard to bring the drugs off the streets. In that particular situation, she came in, she didn't even shake law enforcement's hand. She did the soundbite and she left. What we need to do is make sure that we have a leader who's going to support law enforcement. I couldn't, in good faith, standing there alongside my colleagues, remotely give the implication that we were supporting Kamala Harris. And to note, during that time, if you research just a little bit, when she was the Attorney General under Governor Brown, she removed over 50 different task force from Bureau of Narcotic Enforcement under her command. And so that's not a leader we need for law enforcement. We need someone who's going to stand behind law enforcement, just like Donald Trump does.
She doesn't support law enforcement. She doesn't support a closed border. She doesn't support anything regarding safety, let's say.
I support her?
We do not support her. And actually, I was on the phone with Mark Lamb today. He's a friend of mine in Arizona. You know who he is. He is equally as disgusted at the fact that Kamala comes across as a border security type of law enforcement candidate. She is not. Our borders are open. We have human trafficking, gun running, drug running, all across an open border from California all the way to Arizona and Texas. She does not have the support of law enforcement.
It's ridiculous. How can we last 3 more years of this mess? She mentioned that Dick Cheney endorsed her. For her to even sit there and act like that's a good thing when that man has tore up and has a lot of blood on his hands. And that tells us a lot that we need to know. With Dick Cheney endorsing Kamala Harris, that sounds like a war waiting to happen. Last highlight, Donald Trump weaponization statement. I believe in this statement, and I do believe that weaponization is a real thing, and I do believe that people do weaponization tactics in situations like this. It could be as simple as, you on the streets and people could do weaponization, but when you're talking about politics, weaponization is definitely a factor, and it definitely plays a lot of factors in this book. RFK Jr. spoke about his weaponization experience with the Democrats.
Left the party to run as an independent. The mainstream of American politics and journalism derided my decision. Conventional wisdom said that it would be impossible even to get on the ballot as an independent because each state poses an insurmountable tangle of arbitrary rules for collecting signatures. I would need over 1 million signatures, something no presidential candidate in history had ever achieved. And then I'd need a team of attorneys and millions of dollars to handle all the legal challenges from the DNC.
Taking him down to the courthouse every state he went to. So weaponization is a real thing. She may never have experienced this because she's always been on the left side of things. So of course they're not going to use those tactics against her because she's on the left. And the left, as long as you're in their good graces, they're not going to go after you. We have a lot of things going on for us that's not good, including the border. The border is our last topic for today, and we will let Blue on the spot take it home.
Okay, so first of all, Kamala Harris, what are you doing? I don't care if it's a suggestion to open the border or not. You're supposed to do what's best for the USA, and you did not do that. They actually killed a father and his 2 sons. They had a lot of life to live. Donald Trump, on the other hand, when he was president, he actually did a good job. He did what was best for the USA, and I think he should really be president because he knows what he's doing. Because most of the debate, I saw you smiling, laughing. This is not a joke. You're putting everybody's life at risk, especially your own. Did you think about what you were doing? And Joe Biden, where are you? I don't see you. What are you doing?